Cool. So the game I'm showing you guys today, it's called Leo's Fortune. It's from a developer out of Sweden. It's actually two co-developers, 1337 Game Design and Senri out of Gothenburg, Sweden. I'm here on their behalf because they couldn't be at GDC.
It is a long way.
Tilting point. Yeah, they're busy finishing the game because the goal is to ship this mid-April. So Leo's Fortune is kind of a classic adventure platformer game. It's a premium game. It will be paid. There's no in-app purchases, at least with the initial release. And it was created by, like I said, a small independent team of 3 guys. So I'm going to jump right in and show you. I'm playing this today with the SteelSeries Stratus controller, the full controller support.
It's my favorite of the controllers.
So Leo's Fortune is a story-driven game, and the story is around this little blue guy with a mustache you see. His name is Leo, short for Leopold. Leo was a very wealthy man once, and he returns home one day and discovers that his entire gold fortune has been stolen from him. So he sets out on an adventure to find out who stole his gold and to get to the bottom of this crime and to get his gold back. And as you can see, as you go through this world, there's a trail of gold coins laid out, kind of like a trail of breadcrumbs that he follows. So you'll be platforming through about 24 levels. Each of the levels are relatively long, between 2 to 4 or 5 minutes each level. So these are not little tiny bite-sized levels, but they're still short enough to complete in a short play session.
So if you weren't playing with the controller, would there be on-screen virtual controls, or how does it work?
Yeah, there's 2 options for without a controller. Controller is definitely not required to play, but I find I'm a little better at the game with the controller. But the on-screen control options are, there's either visible on-screen buttons or you can hide them and just have invisible buttons. You would control it with your thumbs on the left and right side of the screen. Left side controls movement. Oh, that's a bad death. And right side controls your jump, and also, as you'll notice, when I jump, Leo inflates a little bit. So he can become light as air, which helps you in certain situations. It lets you push buttons. So a lot of the puzzles and the platforming in Leo is all physics-based.
Yeah, I like how you don't start that far back when you fail. Like
Yeah, there's a very forgiving checkpoint system. So here's one of the first little puzzles where you have to inflate Leo in order to push this lever and lower the path. So this world that we're going through right now it's kind of a green, mossy forest environment, but then as you progress, you'll descend into this kind of underground mine shaft world, and there's 5 distinct worlds in Leo's Fortune. Each of them has its own unique environmental look and feel. And I don't want to talk too much about the story today because it's really something that the players will want to discover for themselves. But as you go through the adventure, each of the different worlds, you'll encounter a different member of your family. And each of those members of your family provides a little piece of a clue that helps you guide you along in your journey and find out ultimately who stole your fortune. So things get a little bit more treacherous as we go along. Instead of soft, mossy landings, you'll start to face some sharp, spiky landings.
Oh, cool. It's a pretty gorgeous game.
Yeah, one of the things that really impresses me about the game is not only was it created by a really small team, but they didn't use any pre-made engine. They developed their own engine for this from scratch.
I really like how you start so close to like where you fail. That's so annoying in games like this where, like especially if you're playing virtual controls, like a lot of times in precise platforming situations, like you're dying because your finger slipped off the controls or whatever else. So it's nice to just be like, oh, I died, I start 5 seconds back, instead of I have to do the whole level again.
Yeah, it really cuts down on the frustration. Oops. float to the best of your ability over some spikes there. So something you're also not seeing in this build that we're showing today is there are fully voiced over cutscenes in between worlds that tell the story. This one always gives me trouble. There we go.
Oh, nice.
That's the end of level 1.
Cool.
So you'll be attempting to collect all the coins on each level. Some of the coins are obvious in your path, but as you get to later levels, a lot of the coins are hidden, and you have to take different pathways to collect all of the coins. You can also compete on time.
Cool.
So there's a little bit of the second level here. The game introduces new play mechanics as you go along, so come on, Leo, get heavy. Stuck. Alright, well this is fairly boring for you guys.
Well, I can just cut the video at the end of the first level, so
Okay.
that'll work.
Yeah.